What do you think blocks your clients in some engagements from getting the full value of what you and your team bring to the engagement?
We're in a weird spot because we're not we're right in the middle in the sense that we're not big enough, or we don't charge enough, right? Our ACV is 20, 30 grand, right? So
Hmm.
usually when you get
Thanks
into
for sharing
engagements,
that.
20, $30,000, which is
Hmm.
a decent amount of money.
Hmm.
But it's not like Miller Hyman. It's not like Taz where you're dropping half million, $2 million. Like when you're dropping a $500,000 on training, you have buy-in from the top all the way down, and you better, and you're going to measure the hell out of that and drive it, right? So you're almost forced as far as the adoption is concerned, just because purely how much money you're spending. Now, on the other side of the equation, we're not like a Sandler that is charging, $250 an hour, 2,500 bucks. And that's kind of like throw it on your credit card, see you later. So who cares? I'm going to give that to my reps. We're right in the middle there. So it's funny. We get in conversations where we're expensive enough to for the executive to feel like they're investing in their team, but not expensive enough for them to care about the long-term application of it. And it's funny because I get in a lot of conversations with executives and they talk about ROI. Well, what's the ROI or your training and da da da. I'm like, give me a break with this ROI fucking conversation. I go, all right, here, let me ask, what are your current conversion ratios to your tier one accounts, VPs of sales of the main persona using an email cadence? What's that conversion ratio right there? And they'll be like, I don't know. Okay, so
Get
what's
back
your
to you.
conversion ratio from stage one to stage two? Da, 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 and I'll kind of dissect it, and eventually I'll stop and I'll say, like, can we just be honest here? How much of this is that you just want to show your team you're investing in them versus measuring any real direct KPI or something like that? And a
Wow.
lot of it will just kind of be like, yeah, this is okay. So can we stop with this? Now, if you want to do this right, I am all in with you, right? But the biggest thing is the adoption of it is really predicated on on whether or not somebody internally can take the training and own it. Okay.
Yep.
I start all my trainings off like this: 10, 60, 30. Okay. When I was doing a training one time, there's like 400 people in front of me, and did a Q&A afterwards. And then one of the kids say, hey, John, I looked at your logo list, man. Like, you train all of our competitors. So if you're going to train us all on the exact same stuff, how do we differentiate? And
Mm.
I said 10, 60, 30. I said 10% of you in this room are going to take what I tell you and execute and run it, because that's, at the highest level, because that's the type of people you are. 60% of you are going to do something different because it's easy and it makes sense. 30% of you ain't going to do shit different. So the question isn't how many people can I train? The question is what percentage do you want to be in? And so, left to their own accord, sales reps 10, 60, 30. I mean, you know it.
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah.
in a class before. The people who sit in the front of the room and are asking questions, the people who are on Zoom and have their video on and are actually engaged.
Stay
I
after class,
promise
come
you,
up to you and ask you for clarification.
I promise you, those are the top 10% of that sales team. Promise you.
Mm. Yep.
The ones who are on their video, but maybe not engaged, those are probably in the 60%. And the people who don't have their video on, those are part of the 30%, right? And so, without somebody internally who can take the training and own it and implement it and manage it, it is what it is, just like every other training. But
Shot
man,
in the
if you have
arm.
somebody
Yeah.
internally who
Mhm.
owns it, you can do some special things. And so that's what we look for. We look for somebody who can take the training, like enablement or whoever that is going to take it, and I will work with them directly afterwards to say, okay, here's how to implement this, here's how to coach towards this, and everything else. But I'm not going to get into, because they'll also ask me, so what's your reinforcement plan? And my
Right.
direct answer to a manager when they ask me, or an executive when they ask me what your reinforcement plan is: where are your managers going to be in the training? Are they going to be?
This is why I asked the question, quite frankly, because it's a
Yep.
frontline management.
It's a frontline manager thing. That the shame of sales training is, look, we're undereducated as sales professionals in general,
Fair.
but sales managers are insanely undereducated on how to actually be a real good manager and a coach. And
Yeah,
there's
it's neglected. I was
such a
having this
gap.
conversation with Hillman Sore recently. You might know him, Coach CRM, but he was mentioning this, and we were talking about how frontline managers are somewhat on an island in some
Yep.
cases, and not only they're not well educated, because most of them come up within the ranks. I did.
Yep.
It's the resource enablement. We focus so much on the IC and not enough on that middle manager and getting them those skills that they need, because it's completely different, as you know, from selling.